Hey, Dan Matichuk here again. In amongst the mess, organized mess now, but I wanted to show you my pottery that I did this weekend. I didn't get a whole lot done because, well, I ran out of bats for my wheel, for one thing, which I had not anticipated. But I made these, the way I made these, they had to stay on the bat. I couldn't take them off because they're, I'll show you. They are the cylinders, the actual pots, and I really don't want to pick this up with one hand, although it's fairly dry. It still needs trimmed. I'll do that maybe later today. But it actually, maybe actually doesn't even need trim. That'll be below soil. See what's I'm going to do is this piece here is going to set in here. Let me. There we go. I can do that. Okay. So here's what I got going on this. I showed you before I have the rings in this tray thing, and it's like one of these. It has a hole in the bottom, in the center. It's about a 4.5 inch hole. And what I decided to do, I was going to make little pieces that go down in there and have a hole, about a quarter size hole, about 1 inch diameter hole in the center, and cut 2 pieces to go together and slide down in there like a lid for the tomato plant, so that it can. You take the tomato plant in its pot when it comes, when it's maybe a foot tall, and you take those 2 pieces and put them around the on top of the plant at the base, right on top of the pot. Flip it upside down into this thing which you already have hanging on your hook in your garden. So the plant's now upside down. The leaves are on the bottom, hanging out through the hole, through the small hole of the piece you put in. That holds the dirt back up top here. Then you put the cylinder on. Through the ropes you put the cylinder on, and the 4 indentations in the pot line up with the 4 rings. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run that rope down through the hole and actually underneath the cross onto a circle. It's kind of hard to explain, but I don't want to just trust these to this whole massive thing because it might be too heavy, but these will basically just hold the ropes in place, and then the rope comes up and goes up there and ties in the center, and it goes onto my shepherd's hook. And so that's it. And I'm going to combine the colors of half and half. Here's the other ones, and I made these. These are all little different sizes because I'm going to have different types of plants in them. And right here, this gap, you can see this around the edge, is going to be filled with soil too. And I'm going to put little ground cover flowers, maybe real small, or maybe something that hangs over around on this edge. Then what I'm going to do is, between the ropes in the large pot, about a half an inch down, I'm going to take a drill, and I'm going to drill before it goes into the kiln. I'm going to drill holes, probably 3 half-inch holes on each one of these all the way around. So the idea is when you water it in the top, the water will go through what doesn't soak down through and actually dribble down on here to water these plants. And then plus it'll go down through the bottom and water them as well. And then let me show you what else I did. I got a little crazy and I made this pot, and I just did some quick little eyeball looking things on there. I was going to make a face. You can see I did a little nose thing here, and teeth represent teeth. Just very crude, threw it on there. I wanted to do some serious sculpture on it, and because sculpting is really my thing, that and painting, but I really didn't have the time to spare. I really didn't even have the time to do that. The few minutes I did that, I could have had my kiln wired. At this point, it's all more important. But I felt like doing something a little crazy on there, so I threw that on. And then I also did this. I took these little pots, and these were the exploded the ones that exploded on the wheel, and I brushed them real light with a different color slip from my that I use on my potter's wheel, and then just did a little simple random scratching down the side. And I'm basically just experimenting with the clay right now to see how it reacts to different things. It's a learning process, and changing my skills over, if you will, to conform to the clay. And this was the first one I made, and it's this isn't fired yet. This is still raw. but I just did some real thin slip on it and just some scratch designs in there real quick. And these pieces are basically, these are going to be, as well as some tiles that I make are experimental for glazes. So that's what I got going on from this weekend. I think I'm going to go lay down. Now it is when you feel the flu coming on. Hopefully it doesn't get me too bad because I got pots to make. Talk to you later.